Good day, children. This is your English teacher, Sunny, and I welcome you to today's session. Can you identify the duos in the picture? Well, they are mostly known in the Indian subcontinent for the folk tales based on them. They are none other than Akbar and Birbal, Krishnadev Rai and Tenali Raman. These folk tales based on them highlight the intelligence and quick wit of Birbal and Tenali Raman. Today, we will learn a story about a jester who faces and wins over the situation on behalf of his king using his intellect and wit. Before the narration of the story, let's understand who a jester is. In the Middle Ages, kings and noblemen employed clowns called jesters. Jesters held a touch of madness and were allowed to speak frankly and poke fun at officials. The kings found it useful to have such a person around. They were usually asked witty questions and they would give humorous answers. Clowns and court jesters appear funny, but they can convey a serious message to correct someone at the same time. Akio was a jester who was considerate towards the poor. Everyone loved and respected him for his kind nature. This folktale reveals the intelligence and wit of Akio through three incidents. The theme of the folktale is intelligence and wisdom. Let's see the first incident. It happened that a man decided to test Akio. He said, Akio, last night I was sleeping with my mouth open and a rat entered my mouth and disappeared into my stomach. What should I do now? Akio replied promptly, my dear friend, you can only do one thing. Bring a cat alive and swallow it. The man fell silent. We all know that it's impossible for any rat to enter our mouth or disappear in our stomach while we are sleeping. But Akio answered the man to swallow a cat to get rid of the rat. He just conveyed that if there is a possibility of a rat disappearing in one's stomach, then it's possible to swallow a cat too. We have to understand that he didn't ignore the challenge of answering a foolish question, but proved his wit by answering it. Let's see the second incident. One day, Akio was enjoying a feast with his friend. He spotted a man eating sweets and putting some in his pocket too. Akio got up abruptly and poured a jug of coffee in the man's pocket. How dare you pour coffee in my pocket? The man yelled angrily. Akio calmly replied, Brother, I have not done anything wrong. Since your pocket has eaten many sweets, I thought it must be thirsty, so I gave it some coffee. Here we notice that Akio didn't blame or criticize the man for his feelings, but acting in a way to make him understand his mistake. Let's see the third incident now. Once three merchants came to see the king of the country in which Akio lived. The merchants asked the king three questions for which nobody had an answer. The king knew about Akio's wisdom and wit, so he summoned him to the palace. Akio came riding a donkey with a stick in one hand. Akio told the first merchant to ask his question. The merchant asked, Where is the axis of the earth? Without any hesitation, Akio pointed his stick towards his donkey. Look, it's here, near the donkey's right leg. The merchant looked surprised. How can you so confidently say that the center of the earth is only there and not anywhere else? Akio said, if you think my answer is wrong, then why don't you go elsewhere to find the correct answer? The merchant was confused and remained quiet. Akio told the second merchant to ask his question. The second merchant asked, Akio, how many stars are there in the sky? Akio immediately replied, it is the same as the hair on my donkey and not more or less. The merchant asked him how he could prove it. Akio said, if you think my answer is wrong, then why don't you count and check the number of hairs on my donkey? The merchant was puzzled. How's that possible? Akio said, if this is not possible, then even counting the number of stars in the sky is also not possible. The helpless merchant kept quiet. Now, Akio requested the third merchant to ask his question. The third merchant had a long white beard. He asked, Akio, can you count the number of hairs on my beard? Akio said, I repeat that it is same as the number of hairs on my donkey. The merchant decided not to question any more. All these three merchants knew that it's impossible to find the right answer. So Akio made them quiet through his shrewdness. Finally, the three merchants declared themselves as losers and left the country. The king was very pleased with Akio's witty answers. He made him the court jester and also appointed him as the chief minister of his country. Today's activity. Make a jester's hat or scepter, or write a passage about your favorite jester with illustration in your journal. Let's learn the keywords now. Considerate, showing regard for another's feelings. Promptly, at once, done on time. Abruptly, suddenly or unexpectedly. Yell, to cry out loudly. Wit, clever way of speaking or writing. Summon, to call for. Hesitation, act of holding back or pausing before saying or doing something. Confidently, having strong belief. Confused, unclear or unable to think clearly. Puzzled, to think over a problem. Helpless, unable to help oneself. Requested, ask for something. Hope you have enjoyed the story. Thank you, children. We will meet again.